Next is tactical procedures to be followed in a hostage-taking incident. First is containment of the hostage position, also known as the operational containment. This includes but is not limited to the following: stabilization of the incident, determining the exact location of the hostage taker, physically containing the action to the smallest area, isolation of the scene, evacuation of the adjoining areas, blocking the avenues for escapes. Next is communication. Establishing contact with the hostage takers is the first order of business. This may be initiated by either the hostage takers or the authorities. Once contact is established, it is a must to keep the communications open and establish the following through the entirety of the negotiation. A. A problem-solving climate by showing a desire to understand and willingness to help. B. A climate of compromise by adopting a give-and-take attitude and showing a willingness to bargain and yield when necessary. Number 4, visual and audio surveillance. After containing the situation and establishing communication, it is essential to gather information. Letter A, binoculars used for long-distance visual observation of the scene. B, telescopes provides even greater magnification for detailed observation. C, portable searching lights illuminate dark areas for better visibility. D, night vision devices allow the observation in low light or nighttime conditions. E, television cameras records videos footage of the scene for documentation and analysis. F, spike or contact microphone used to listen through walls or other barriers. G, telephone, a means of communication potentially for contacting the hostage takers or gathering informations. Letter H, intercoms, allows for communication between different units or personnel on the scene. 5. Assault alternative. This refers to the responding the hostage takers once the decision to engage has been made. When the victims are in imminent danger or injury, when the victims are in imminent danger of death, when the hostage taker has gained the control of the crime scene or potential victims. Hostage negotiation and recovery. A negotiation approach is a systematic process of starting to work on a task or negotiating and dealing with hostage takers, in which the primary considerations are the arrangement of terms and conditions between the authorities and suspects, which are necessary for the release of the hostages. Critical points to remember in negotiation. The goal of negotiation is to reach an agreement that will benefit the concerned individual or groups. A good negotiation fosters stronger working relationships between people or groups and promotes mutual understanding among the concerned individuals or groups, especially after reaching an agreement.
8 easy steps in the negotiation process. First, all of the players should be clear with their interests and demand. So, before you start negotiating, everyone should know exactly what they want and what they are not willing to give up. Second, identify and acknowledge all conflicts and issues which need to be resolved. So, bring all the problems out into an open and no matter how uncomfortable it is, so that nothing is hidden under the rug. And it is easier to fix things when everyone knows what the real issues are. Third, agree on the common goal. A shared goals makes it easier to work as a team rather than opponents. An example, a couple planning a wedding agree that they both want a fun, relaxed event and even if they disagree on the guest list. Fourth, bargain for a better deal. This is where you go back and forth trying to improve your side of the deal while still keeping it fair. Fifth, trade concession. Sometimes you give up something small to gain something bigger, like a trade off that still works in your favor. It is all about give and take. Six, try to resolve the issue and problem of all those concerned. Think beyond your own needs. Helping other side fix their problems often make them more willing to help with yours. That's how you build your trust. And seven, compromise. You won't always get everything you want. So finding a middle ground that everyone can live with is often a smartest move. It's about fairness and not perfection. Number 8, conclude with a formal or written agreement. So this means that once you've all agreed, write it down so there's no confusion later. It makes things official and keeps everyone accountable. 4 negotiation stages and critical tasks. First, the primary stage. It creates a climate conducive to the positive exchange of views, and issues such as resolving all past disputes and conflicts, and establish rapport and get agreement on agenda and ground rules. It identifies issue and rules, establish timelines. So this is where you set the stage for a positive discussion by resolving past issues and getting everyone on the same page. For example, imagine two companies with a history of disagreements. They would start by addressing those old conflicts before moving forward. Second is the opening stage. The opening position or initial offer must clearly stated, and the other party's opening position or initial demand must be clarified and must be tested in a logical and rational manner. So in this phase, each party should state or should clearly state their initial position or offer, ensuring it's logical and can be easily understood. For instance, a salary negotiation, the job applicant would clearly state their desired salary and the employer would respond and their initial offer. Third, the exploratory stage. It identifies the other party's underlying demands and needs through active listening and probing through asking questions, and alternative currencies of exchange must be tested. Concessions and compromises must be made in order to arrive at the meeting point or an agreement. So this is where you dig deeper to understand what the other party really wants by actively listening and asking a lot of questions. Fourth, the conclusions or the closing stage. Currencies or terms must be matched to the needs. Agreements must be formalized after resolving the potential problems and all lingering concerns and ensures that what has been agreed upon is enacted or implemented as planned using the appropriate forms, contract or memorandum of agreement. So the conclusion or closing stage is making sure that they meet everyone's needs and put everything in writing to avoid misunderstanding later. Imagine two businesses harming out a deal. They ensure all the details and are ironed out, potentially issues are addressed, and the financial agreement is documented in a contract. Eight sources of power in a negotiation process. Power is defined as an individual's ability to get things done by influencing other people. Power, however, is a means and not an end, and is largely based on perception. First, information. This refers to the prior knowledge of the other side's interests and expectation, financial situations, priorities, organizational pressures, and limitations, which will provide a negotiator with an edge during the actual negotiation, especially when one or both parties tend to hide their true interests and priorities. Second is time. Time pressure on the other party creates an advantage to the negotiator, since he or she is given more time to study the situations and create exact calculations. Third, last need. A party is in a weaker position if he or she has greater need to do business than the other party in the process. Fourth, credibility. The negotiator's background must be clearly stated to create an impression he or she is trustworthy to handle and resolve the issues involved. Fifth, willingness to take risks. It refers to the power at the negotiating table. This occurs when the negotiator is prepared to take calculated and intelligent risk, or when he or she can make a demand, give an ultimatum, and is not afraid to lose the deal. So being prepared to take calculated risk and walk away from the deal can give you a strong advantage. For example, if you're negotiating the price of a car and are willing to walk away if the dealer doesn't meet your price, this might be more likely to offer a better deal. Six, commitment. Dedication and support by all members of the negotiating team spells success. So dedication and support from all members of your negotiating team can project a united front and increase your influence. Seven, expertise. A negotiator who is widely recognized as an expert has an advantage when negotiating. Being widely recognized as an expert in your field can give you significant edge in negotiation. Eight, empathy. Empathy with the other party gives greater insights into their psychological and organizational needs, thus giving a negotiator more chance of what he or she wants in the negotiation. So empathy is understanding the other party's personal, psychological, and organizational needs can give you valuable insights. Hostage crisis negotiation. The primary concern for every negotiation should always be the safe release of the hostages and safe surrender of the hostage takers or arrest of the perpetrators. So the main goal is always the safe release of the hostages and the safe surrender or arrest of the hostage taker. And the following shall not be provided in exchange for the safe release of the hostages. First, release of prisoners serving in sentences in the prison, and major policy or constitutional changes, and escape from prosecution of any person or capitalization by any authority. Next, we have objective of negotiation, the safe release of the hostage and the safe handover of the perpetrators. Arrest of the perpetrators minimize harm of both the hostage and the hostage taker and minimize damage to properties. Additionally, to gather intelligence from the stronghold and to gain enough time for the assault preparation and to establish routine among the perpetrators. And lastly, to build rapport with the perpetrator. So this involves securing the hostages. So this involves securing the hostages release, arresting the perpetrators, minimizing harm to everyone involved, and reducing property damage. For instances, negotiator might try to build rapport with the hostage takers to gain intelligence and buy time for tactical teams, and ultimately persuade them to surrender peacefully. So that's all.
Effect of buying time is hostage negotiation. Buying time in hostage negotiation is the initial concern of all negotiators. This will allow them to gain needed information to assess the situation and have an effective negotiation with the hostage takers. So, with more info, they can come up with a better plan to deal with the hostage takers. Police perspective. Times allow the police to assemble its resources, draw a detailed plan on its action, increases opportunity for internal and external intelligence gathering. However, it will also bring additional problems on the possible arrival of more media uh, practitioners, increased cost of operation, and more stress and exhaustion on the part of the police personnel. So, just like think of it of preparing for a big game. You need to know the play and have the right equipment. However, dragging things out can bring more problems like media attentions and higher cost. It's like when a simple repair turns into a full blown renovation, costing more time, money, and stress. Hostage perspective. For the hostages, times allow the following increases human needs, identifies as an individual, reduce anxiety, exhaustion, boredom, uh, but it's not all good. Hostages must get exhausted, bored, or even start bonding with with their captors, like Stockholm syndrome.